Hello, everybody, welcome back. I'm the Strats Professor, and today we're going to be looking at the patch notes for 13.11. So, as always, if you enjoy the content, please be sure to like and subscribe. Really helps out a ton on the channel. Come by, check out the stream. Usually starts around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Typically goes till sometime between 12 and 1 Eastern Standard Time. Very friendly, chill community. We'd love to have you. And then I will have the support tier list probably out tomorrow, and I'll see if I can at least do an ADC tier list as well. And I might do some other roles too. We'll see. It is summertime now for me, so I have a little bit more time to hopefully make a bit more content for you. Okay, so we've got Rel. I'm honestly, let me see. We'll just go through it on the wiki because I need to see like all the numbers and everything on it. My initial instinct is that she probably still won't be that strong, but we'll see. So basically, health is up a little bit, I think. Armor, I believe, is down. Movement speed. Now, is that... Okay, yeah, it's already reflecting these changes. Armor growth is down. Now her passive by 2.5% for 5 seconds. So I feel like this is a nerf because like they're trying to turn her into someone that just wants to auto attack a lot in combat. And as we've seen with Tarek, like that's just not a very great paradigm for supports to have to like get in there and then just soak all of these hits and just have to auto attack a lot to be effective. I mean, Tarek is like okay, he has an okay win rate, but that's like the biggest thing is you have to actually stick and do auto attacks. Most tanks, you engage, you know, use your cooldowns on a key target, and then typically, you know, you'll back up. Maybe you'll auto attack, you know, some people that are, you know, while you're trying to peel, while you're trying to back up. But if you really have to auto attack, especially like 5 times to stack this thing to where it used to be, or 4 times, I just don't think that's good. Like it used to be 10%, now it's 2.5. So it can be up to 12.5, but again, that's a lot of auto attacks. Now all of her abilities do apply it as well. So if she lands her Q and then she, you know, does her E and does her W and then ults, you know, if she does literally everything, hits with all 4 abilities and an auto attack, I guess you're, you know, maybe you're shredding more than before. So yeah, there might be some situations where this could be a little bit better, but I feel like overall it's not great. And then her attack speed is slowed a little bit. Okay. And then this, I believe, is a pretty hard nerf. Yeah, it's 9 it's just, it's different. It's a 9-second cooldown. Instead of almost 700 range, it's a little over 500 at 520. It doesn't heal, which was kind of a funky mechanic anyways. It does stun for 0.75, and it stuns everything, which is good. But they also compensated the W knock-up duration is only 0.75. So I guess you're getting 1.5 total CC instead of 1 second. So if you hit your Q and then your W, like that is more. It does 50 less damage at max rank. And it has a half a second wind-up time, which is quite a bit. Now, she does move 100 units closer, so if you hit, you know, then you'll go to basically 620 range. And then that will be close enough to land your W, I think. The dismounted knock-up or whatever. The jump range, yeah, is 400. So they lowered the jump range. But if you hit at 520, then it'll bring you down to 420. So, like, it's close. Now, I don't know the speed that she jumps. Is it like half a second or 1 second? My question is, can you chain this together? Like, can you hit your Q and then guarantee hit your W? And I don't know the answer to that. But, yeah. You do get, now when you're dismounted, you do get some extra attack speed, which is okay. You gain 75 range. You're still really slow. You do get some extra bonus armor and magic resist. Shield value is a little lower. Magic damage is a little bit lower. She doesn't have a speed cap, so I guess stuff like Shirelia's or, you know, some other kind of move speed. Phase Rush, I don't think you're going to run that on her, but could be better. A little bit less on the slide distance. The AoE radius is less and the jump range is less. So just like landing that knock up in and of itself is going to be worse. Like you have to chain it with Q to get benefit out of it. And then her E. Now this one's interesting because you and an ally get a lot of bonus movement speed. So up to 50% bonus movement speed. So if you gank with a Hecarim or something and you come running in, that has the potential to be very good, obviously. So for gank assist, if she's, you know, mounted up and she's going to get all that extra movement speed and then comes running in, you know, lands her Q and then W stun and then ult, like that could actually be really good. So we'll see. Now, she doesn't have the ability to just stun stuff, so she's not going to be as good as she is right now against Rakan, as you can stun him out of his W instantly. But her roam, especially if you're going with a partner, right, with a jungler, or if your mid, or your bot laner rotates to mid with you or something, that's some really good rundown. Especially, I mean, I don't think she would run Shirelia's. She doesn't have great AP ratios, but that plus Shirelia's would just be absolutely nuts if those stack like multiplicatively with each other. But even just the 50% is kind of nuts. So it's over 3 seconds. Now it ramps. Now how long does it last though? I don't know how, does it last 3 seconds? It says it ramps up over 3 seconds. And you can still lance people. 1 second. Okay. Stuns the target for 1 second. If she goes into that stance. You get some bonus magic damage within 5 seconds. So yeah, I'm not sure how long that lasts. Okay. And her ult still like okay. So I don't know. Maybe like with certain just like run at them comps, it could be good. I mean, maybe something like Samira, if you mount up, pop your E, and just run at them. Because when you flip them, I think that counts as a knock up for like Samira's passive. Something like that. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. My sense is that it may not be as great. But we'll see. It definitely gives her a niche, right? Like, she is the premier, like, team, or, like, I guess, jungle, assist, helper, ganker, whatever. Okay, sorry. My hair is just, like, looking crazy. I can't stop it from parting. Okay, Akali, a little bit more damage, whatever. It's fine. I think mages just need better items. I think the items are just bad right now compared to the ADC items and support items that got buffed. Aphelios, a little bit less AD, that's fine. Aurelion Sol, a little bit more mana, okay. I mean, I don't think he's that much of a problem. He is still very good late game, but sure. Azir, so Jason's gonna like this. Lower cooldown on the Q, so you get a little bit more poke early on. And then an extra 25 damage with your range on your soldiers, or 25 range on the soldiers. Is probably pretty good, with a slightly better AP ratio. Okay. Now, Ivern. I've always wondered if Ivern could be a support. Like, could you take... I don't know if you can take Smite. I think if you take Smite, you can't get a support item, though. I think that's the deal. I'd have to go back and look, because that hasn't really been a situation in a long time. But I'm like, could you take Smite with, like, Summoner... the thing that allows you to change the summoners. He's got a lot of health to start. So the thing they're changing about him that's most interesting is this W does some extra on-hit damage, plus 10% of your AP. And you get vision for 8 seconds, which is nice. So that allows you to check bushes and things like that. Brush lasts for 30 seconds. If you're in the bush, it can last longer. So, I mean, that could be pretty good for trading for something like Caitlyn, you know? You just pop up a bush kind of near the tower, and she, you know, loves those headshot mechanics too, which she gets bonuses like that out of brush. And then you get, I mean, it's not like a crazy amount. It's like 5 on-hit damage. Could be your whole team if you have several ranged champions. I mean, it's kind of cute. Just not sure. And then Trigger Seed, if the detonation doesn't blow anyone up, then you get to keep the E for longer if it's not broken. It does not refresh it. It's just the duration is renewed. And then Daisy regenerates health, moves faster, has a better attack range, attacks faster. And then does more damage on the slam. So I don't think he's gonna be great as a support. You can try to use this, but obviously the passive's basically gonna be dead. It is up to a 2-second route. You're probably maxing shield though. But 1.2 is okay. That does allow your team to kind of dash in. They did change like some of the interactions with that. The brush is okay. It is still 10% of your AP. So if you go like 100 AP, you're doing a little bit more. Yeah, so your allies don't get nearly as much bonus damage as you do. They get like, what, a third? Way less. A third scaling. Trigger Seed, it's a 220 shield with some damage, a slow, and a 7-second cooldown. I mean, it's only... okay, 750 range, and then 500 explosion radius. Stays up for 2 seconds, though. But it can be 2 more seconds as well, if it's not broken. I don't know. That has a long cooldown for Daisy. Daisy can do some damage, but it's obviously not as strong as Tibbers. I feel like it's not enough. But it is interesting. Okay, Jinx, attack speed down, whatever. Callista, her auto attacks are doing more damage, but then her Rend is doing a little bit less damage. I think that's fair. Kind of even it out. It's fine. Rek'Sai, better Tremor Sense, a little bit better healing. Like, what the hell is this formula? This looks like I'm looking at an algebra equation. I mean, I guess there's no letters there. But 15 parentheses plus 20 for every 3 levels, close bracket, plus 2% parentheses, plus 2% maximum HP for every 2 levels, close parentheses, close bracket. It's like, who, like, draws that up and like, yeah, that's what we're going with. That's how I want this ability to scale. Like, what? Okay, and then Queen's Wrath, Unburrowed. So I'm not sure what that is. I think that, isn't that her, like, true damage? No, the E is the chomp. I'm not sure. It's been so long since I played Rek'Sai. Okay, you can spam it a lot more. Extra reveal. When you're burrowed, you throw your thing. It's 5-second reveal. That's fair. Unburrow, better targeting. That's fine. Rek'Sai's kind of rough right now. She's not that great. Renekton, Slice and Dice, a little bit lower cooldown. Okay. So you can trade more often. Dominus, Scales. Okay. Then does a decent chunk more damage per tick. Okay, that's fine. I think Renekton isn't great right now, so pick a card, 6 second in all ranks. So this is nice if you want to max Q, which I think a lot of people do for the wave clear. Again, I think the problem is just items with mages right now, so I don't think this is going to address it, but okay. There's just so much tenacity in the game too, and like so much of his power is gold card. Like if they get out of the gold card before you hit them with wild cards, like there goes all your damage. Okay, Ardent Sensor, a little bit less scaling over time. I think that's fine. There are so many good enchanter items right now that this is like not a big deal. I agree though, it should be situational. It shouldn't just be something that you get all the time. But yeah, just like Lulu plus Ardent Sensor, on Kog'Maw or Jinx or Zeri or whatever is just a little strong. So I think that's good. They're hitting that a little bit. Dustblade, doing a little bit more damage. Sure. Did they not nerf Ghostblade? No, they did. Okay. It's like the last thing on their list. Okay, sure. It's competing with Ghostblade, so that's fine if they want it to be a little bit stronger. Echoes of Helia. Okay, so they really need to like put a cooldown on this item. I feel like they're just make it not interact with Font of Life. It just feels like it's just too degenerate with some champions. Like the numbers are just too high. They need to make it like a 6-second cooldown, like they have with Mandate.
Hey, Daddy, want to see my drawing Dad just made?
Okay. So it's 20 to 80, and it scales levels 6 to 18. So again, I don't know all the math on that or why they changed that, but it does less damage over time. So we'll see. That's per shard, damage per shard on that. Okay, you want to bring it in here and show me?
It's taped on the wall.
Okay. Well, just hang on a second. I'll come in there and check it out in just a little bit. I got to finish this video, and then I'll come in. Gale Force, yeah, still a little strong. I mean, other stuff is really good too, right? But they are nerfing Stormrazor as well. I think ADCs are a little too strong on this patch. I think Stormrazor users aren't that bad, honestly. It's like, just some of the hyper carries are a little too strong. But okay, so they're nerfing that a little bit. I think like the execution damage is just, yeah, it's just way too high, especially the scaling on it, the critical strike scaling. Like, if they want to put a decent amount of base early on so you can execute people, that's cool. But like just the fact that you get to dash, I think is already like incredibly powerful. But the fact also that you're doing just as much damage as most ultimates on this as well, and it scales like some crazy number off of critical strike is just too much. So I think that's fine. Kraken Slayer does physical damage, has significantly higher base, 35 to 85 damage, levels 8 to 18. Like, who the hell's coming up with these numbers? Like, this is so weird. With a little bit more scaling there. That's a huge buff. I mean, yeah, it's not doing magic damage anymore, but it also benefits from penetration. So people aren't stacking that much hard armor. Like, yes, champions do have higher base AD than magic resist. That is a thing. But I mean, you still, like, sometimes you see Thorn Mail, but like, I don't know. There are really good magic resist items too that are out there. So, okay, I'm pretty sure this is quite a significant buff. Moonstone Renewer is doing a little bit more magic. They just need to redo this item. Like, it needs to be like if you're around 3 allies or something like that, or 2 allies, or just basically like if you're team fighting, you give out bonuses to people. But I think just it's basically glorified plus healing and shielding. Like, there's no active, there's no like interaction. It's a very uninspired item. Okay, Navori Quick Blades, a little bit more, 5 more AD, a little bit less ability haste, but you get more ability haste reduction per hit, which is really good. And the Mythic is going 5 AD instead of 5 haste. That's a pretty significant buff. I feel like this item is already very underrated. I think a lot of champs can be really good with this. Like, I feel like Zeri is good and can be good with this. Ezreal, Zaya. I think there are a lot of champs that can be really good with this. I mean, they have data, so I guess it looks like it's, you know, weaker than some of the others, but I feel like people just aren't getting it and aren't playing the champions that it shines on. But I think it's a really strong item. Okay, Ronan's on hit, going down a little bit. This is a little weird. I mean, it's getting abused by, I guess there are a handful of champions that like this item. Okay, sure. I think ADCs in general are a little too strong right now. Static Shiv, not seeing enough love, but now it's going to have way more wave clear, 250%, and then the energized damage is up quite a bit. It competes with Hurricane, but maybe now people would be more likely to get Shiv. The thing is, Shiv doesn't trigger on hit stuff, and Hurricane does. So I think Hurricane's still going to be the go-to on Cog and Twitch and Jinx, and I'm just not sure if, like, who else is going to want Static. Maybe Vayne or some champs that just don't have wave clear and also don't want Runins. Very small club. Stormrazor minus 5 AD. I think this item is extremely overrated. I just don't think the win rate was that great. I think it was just like very convenient to build it and gives you a minor, you know, power spike once you complete it. But I just feel like it just does not scale nearly as well as some of the other options out there. I think Bloodthirster is really underrated too. It's very similar in price to Stormrazor. Now it's definitely going to have way more AD. It's got, I think, 65 base. And can go up to like 90 late game. Okay, so 15 and then scale is a little bit less. Okay. I think a lot of people are going to stop getting this and we'll start getting something else. Okay, Youmuu's ability haste is down. Bonus lethality at max stacks is 3 to 12. And then it takes longer to charge it up. Yeah, this item is just really degenerate. Like, getting that extra lethality on top of it already having high lethality. I think it's got 18 or 20 lethality or something on it. I think it's a little over the top. Now, that is a pretty heavy-handed nerf on the lethality. But I don't think it should be the damage item. I think Duskblade should be the, okay, I want to kill people item. Because, like, you already get a ton of movement speed off of this thing. Like, that's what this should be. This should be, look, I'm going to hunt somebody down, and I'm going to run them down and kill them. Like, that's what this item is. Duskblade is, you know, I'm not worried about getting on them. I'm worried about blowing them up. So I think those should be separate items. Like, I don't think that something that gives you that much utility should also give you, like, higher burst than Duskblade. So, I think it's just repositioning it as being a niche option for champs that want that movement speed. Because that is so strong with, like, you know, things like Kha'Zix, where they take, like, the blue pet and they already run 1,000,000 miles an hour in the jungle off of the blue pet. Then they have their invisibility to get more movement speed. Then they have Ghostblade to get even more movement speed. Like, it's just too problematic with a lot of the champs that are abusing it right now. So I think it's good to nerf it. Buff sharing. Okay, when a jungler kills red or blue, blue wisp will be dropped. Okay, so it's basically everybody gets Ivern stuff. Okay, so you still have to give one of them to the jungler, though. I think this is probably a good idea. It just feels bad, especially at lower elos, where junglers, you know, want to carry. I think everybody's going to like this, but you want to be able to hand off the buff. Like, that's the correct strategic play, but it puts you behind and, you know, feels rough. So they're just trying to create a feels good for the jungler, give them a little bit more power. We all know the junglers have been underpowered all season. It's just a terrible role. Sarcasm. Right, they're OP. But I do agree that this is something that just kind of feels bad for people to have to give up your XP and your buff and stuff like that. So, maybe they need to nerf the buffs a little bit or just nerf something else about the jungle to make up for this, but I think that's fine. ARAM, whatever, Clash, whatever, bug fixes, sure. Skins. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think overall this is pretty good. I think hitting most of the ADC items. A little surprised I didn't hit Ginsu here. Because it feels like Kog'Maw is the most problematic. But they are hitting the Hurricane. Let's see what the win rates look like here. On ADCs. I haven't actually looked in a couple of days. If it feels like loading. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Cog's at 53, but so is Jin. I mean, Jin does like Stormrazor. But, I mean, it's very similar to Gale Force. Collector is also really good and underrated. Not enough people are getting this item. Like, it got buffed from 12 lethality to 18 for no extra cost. It's crazy. This item's so good right now. So yeah, I mean, Stormrazor's okay, but yeah, like, first item, it is Gale Force is better as a first item on him. Collector. I think Jin is like, I hate to go against Jin, but I think Jin is an interesting champion with like a good niche, so I'm okay with him being on the strong side. Kog'Maw is just degenerate as hell. Like, you can deal with him, sort of, like, you can gank him and stuff like that, but if he goes unchecked, like, he just kills everybody so fast, just like deletes the whole team. So I think Kog'Maw is a lot more degenerate when you pair him with like a Lulu or something. Versus Jin is like, he's strong throughout the whole game if he gets really fed, but he's not gonna like kill the whole team instantly. Like, it's gonna take him a minute. Yeah, I mean, I guess other items are okay on him too. Maybe they're thinking that like the Kraken change is gonna nerf him. I'm not entirely sure that's true. Hurricane will nerf him a little bit. But, like, who else? I mean, I guess not that many other champs are, like, turbo abusing Ginsu. I mean, maybe Master Yi or something. But yeah, overall, I think this is good. They're hitting most items that are problematic. They're trying to do something about them. They're buffing up, a few champs that are unloved. That are unique and cool. Like, I think Ivern's a really cool, like, unique champ. Azir as well. Cool, unique champ, lots of like good play opportunities. Rel, interesting. So I think they're on the right track. But anyways, that's it. Thank y'all very much. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you next time.